Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Sports Shorts TV. I'm Ronnie Rantz, wearing a coat from the LeBaire Studios in Baton Rouge, and he is coatless. Joel Davis rocking his Wooden Haven Furniture Company T-shirt that looks more like a Rush T-shirt from 1979 or something.
Why?
Looks like a rock. It's like a rock band T-shirt kind of looking thing.
It's a comfort fit
when
you're delivering furniture to victims of the flood, Ron.
It's very nice of you to do that, by the way.
Do it. That's what we do at the Wooden Haven. Matter of fact, we have a delivery fee. You know, my time is worth money.
Do you actually go to their house to deliver the furniture?
I actually do some deliveries with my kids. It gives an opportunity
for
me and my kids.
Do you talk sports with?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they'll hey, what do you do? Because they don't watch the show. and I'm like, well, I do radio, TV, and fundraising and stuff like that. And oh yeah, okay, cool. We'll never watch, but yeah, I go do the deliveries with my kids.
People that like Indonesian type furniture and whatnot, they don't watch Sports Shorts?
Probably not. I haven't had a whole lot of people tell me they watch this show, other than, like you say, aunts and uncles, and a couple cousins. But maybe a neighbor, a neighbor or two. A lot of people listen to the radio show though. A lot of critiquing going on in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on that show. Maybe it's worth listening to. I guess it is.
Tell the folks when it airs, by the way.
It airs on Mondays, right before this show. On Mondays, so if you're watching this show, you missed it. Check us next week on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN.
6 to 8, Monday through Friday, Monday rather, 6 to 8, Monday nights on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge.
That's right. And but no, I'm giving free deliveries to flood victims because I'd like to do my part. Not to mention, we're probably one of the only businesses in Baton Rouge that are not marking everything up now that people are in a bad way. As you well know, after someone that lost their house, everybody is putting a premium on their services.
Even people that you've done business with for years.
Putting a premium on their business.
And you thought, I got this. I got people.
I've been giving this guy so much business. I mean, so much business over the years. Never asked for anything in return. He's going to take care of you, Ron, and double.
Right.
Double. So, but I mean, we don't do that at the Wooden Haven. We take care of our people, we take care of our customers, and the hog will deliver to you for free if you are a flood victim. Not you, but everybody else.
Before we get to talking sports, how much do you have to buy at Wooden Haven in order to get a free T-shirt like that?
Well, here's the problem.
Is there a number?
I ordered probably 30 shirts. 30 shirts from online. Yeah. Online. Because I wanted to give some to my kids, friends, whatever.
You got a 3X for me?
3X. From this company, you're gonna need a 6X.
They're a little tight.
Because this is an extra large. I ordered largest for me because I've lost 20 pounds. So I ordered like 20 of those were larges, and maybe not. Actually, I ordered about 40 shirts because like about 20 of them were larges. Another 10 to 15 were mediums for the wife. The mediums are too small for the wife. My wife is tiny.
Wow.
Yeah. So all the shirts, anything below extra large.
Did you get the shirts made in Indonesia?
No. This is on a company online that I had a shirt from Snap Fitness that I liked.
Red Stick Sports.
Well, they did all the print work. Red Stick Sports did all the print work. But yes, I will be getting my shirts from. If you have a shirt and you'd like me to put the logo on, I can do that for you.
Very good. Thank you. I'd like one with the Earth. Can you put the Earth logo on mine instead of that?
This is the Earth. This represents the Earth.
It's like Saturn.
It's abstract.
It's an abstract Earth?
It's an abstract Earth.
Because it's not. I can't figure out what continent that is because it doesn't.
Do you have to?
No.
You don't have to figure out anything other than the Earth itself.
It's a family show. Stop that. Let's talk some LSU football.
You want to do that?
23-6 with 6 minutes to go, whatever the game. I'm thinking, all right, obviously we'd love LSU to put 40, 50 points on the board, but 23-6, dominant performance. The defense really stepped up. The offense did its part for a half. Got a little crazy there in the second half where Fournette fumbled a couple times. He hadn't done that in his life. All right, we're going to get out of here 23-6 and feel good about our defense going into Auburn. And then all of a sudden, 2 quick scores. They don't handle an onside, and now they've got the ball with a chance to not only tie but win the game on the final drive. And now LSU escapes with a 23-20 victory, and you think, I don't know that I feel like
you don't feel as good.
I don't think that if you watched LSU beat Jacksonville State, you came out of that and thought, okay, our problems are solved. We're going to go 10-1, or you came out of it against Mississippi State and thought, okay, our problems are solved. We're going to go 11-1. I just think you come out of it going, we won. Mississippi State's not that great. We've still got a long way to go.
I don't know if anybody. I haven't listened to any sports today. I haven't listened to any of the early
nice
radio
job
shows.
On the prep. That's good.
Well, the Woodenhaven had called. It called, and I've got to take care of people in need. So I don't know what people are saying about the football team. I'll tell you what I'm saying about the football team. Leonard Fournette has checked out. That dude is so far gone.
What?
That dude has checked out, Ron.
149 yards and over 5 yards a carry.
That dude
has
checked out. Absolutely. Because those fumbles, like you said, that's not something he's ever done in his life. Probably since grade school, that guy's fumbled twice in a game. When you are not mentally focused and you are not mentally there, that's when that kind of stuff happens. He's obviously injured. You could see that he's got something going on with his foot. I'm not saying that even though he's checked out, he's better than anything else they got on the roster. I'm not saying that at all. But he's not going to be a Heisman finalist this year. He's probably not going to be a finalist this year.
No, because the team's not good enough, but also because the offense isn't balanced enough.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not just him. So what else does he have to prove? Nothing. He has nothing to prove at LSU. He is the best running back in the country, clearly. At some point, he's got to start protecting his future. And to me, I don't blame the kid. But psychologically, I think he's checked out. I don't think that he is physically 100%, and mentally, he's clearly not 100%. I just see a different back this year. And part of that is injury. But also part of that is that dude knows he's about to be filthy, Ron. And he's going to be playing in
filthy rich.
Yeah, of course. He's
not like cleaning houses.
No, he bathes.
Filthy.
He bathes.
Right.
No, he is filthy, going to be filthy rich. And I can't blame the kid, but he's clearly checked out. And what's LSU going to do? You got another back to lean on. You got Darius Geis, who's not as good as Leonard Fournette, but he's a very capable back. He's explosive. Not as explosive as Leonard Fournette. But I hope that maybe Leonard, after having these two fumbles, somebody sits him down and says, hey, listen. Because typically a normal back would never see the Brissett hasn't been back on the field since he fumbled one time. That dude doesn't even know what a football looks like since he fumbled. Leonard Fournette is above that. He'll get another chance. Clearly, you got to give the guy the ball. But I think Les Miles has to have a little chit chat with him. Say you're going to cost us a game unless you get your mind right.
The thing that the takeaway I came from the game is that Leonard Fournette is probably he's going to get his 125 to 150 a game numbers because they're going to feed him 25 times,
that's right,
30 times, and he's going to get good numbers. He's not going to get Heisman numbers, and he's going to have to really work even more so this year than he did last year for those numbers because other teams clearly are going to just key on him every down. Not that they didn't before, but they truly don't respect the pass at this point. Even with what we've seen out of Etling, which has been better than what we saw out of Harris for 5 quarters, what we've seen out of Etling for 7 quarters now is still better than what LSU had, but it's by no means does it make anyone fear the passing game. Does it make anyone really create your defense to not be one-dimensional? They are going to lean, slash, stunt, game, run blitz, you name it, all day long to stop Leonard Fournette. He's good enough, and the offensive line and everybody else is good enough to where he's going to be able to get his 4.5 to 5.5 yards a carry. But
he plays Alabama.
There's going to be a wear and tear involved, right? And until he plays Alabama, and then they'll keep him to 3.5 yards a carry more than likely, unless there's a huge improvement with this passing game between now and then. But there are some good things that have come out of this game. The defense for 3.5 or 3 3/4 was much improved. Oh, by the way, did you notice they went to a 4-3? They did a little 3-4 switch to the 4-3 there for most of this game. Les Miles today in the press conference said, well, it's because we wanted to get different personnel groupings in there. Or did you? Or was it, we're not really a 3-4 just right yet, Aranda. We know you ran that at Wisconsin. We know that's your thing. But right now we might be a little bit better off in the 4-3. So now the good news is that you can go back and forth. I mean, you worked on the 3-4 all spring and summer, and so therefore that's in your bag. And the other, you can kind of switch back and forth and play some games with that offensive line and a young quarterback or whatnot. So that's something to look forward to. But I would say
so distracted right now.
I would say that this is coming from a guy.
You gonna wipe that up?
This coming from a guy who's wearing a Rush T-shirt. But let me
just gonna leave that big spit bubble right there.
But I think that this season it's going to come down to this.
It's like eyeballing
I'm going to come down to the Auburn. It's going to come down to the Auburn game, because to me this is a huge game from a standpoint of potentially fired or not getting fired. And I mean, Auburn is a team that got beat by Texas A&M this past weekend, and it's not a very good Auburn team. But you're on the road, and it is Auburn, a team that's given you fits in the past. If you lose this Auburn game, then you're squarely looking at 4 losses, I think. I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion. You're sitting there at best 8-4. If you beat Auburn, you're still alive for 9-3, 10-2. And I think 9-3, 10-2 keeps Les Miles and the coaching staff. I think 8-4, 7-5, you're looking at a different coach next year. So this is going to be a huge game. And, oh, by the way, Etling's first road start in an LSU uniform. And to me, it all comes down to this. You beat Auburn on the road, regardless of the score. You come out of it feeling good about yourself. You got Missouri, at home, a very winnable game there, and all of a sudden now you're feeling bitter about yourself going into Florida. You lose Auburn, you start to question everything.
I think Etling he'll be more relaxed on the road at Auburn. I really do. I mean, that guy, I don't know. I just have this feeling about just watching his demeanor. Being at home, there's a lot of pressure in Tiger Stadium, especially watching what happened to Brandon Harris, how tight he got, how the people turned on him.
So you think playing on the road in the SEC is more relaxing for a quarterback than at home?
At Auburn, because the team is not very good. I'm not talking about going on the road to Alabama. That's a lot of pressure. That's scary. I don't think you look at the tape this week as a football player and you're getting scared of Auburn. I really don't. I mean, you watch what Texas A&M was able to do to them. You watch what other teams have been able to do to them offensively against this defense. I think that you know that your defense can stay with them and put some pressure on them and give you the football back. I think just being on the road, away from everything, away from the noise, away from the media, away from hearing everything that people are saying about other players on the roster, Brandon Harris, I think that it's going to allow him to relax even more. And maybe he'll perform better in the second half than he's done the last 2 weeks that we've seen Danny Etling. Because in the first half, I mean, I have no complaints about the young man. I think the young man has played outstanding in the first half of the last 2 football games. It's the second half we're seeing him kind of go night-night and not make plays that you would like to see him make in the second half. He's got to. Do you think I said night-night because you're over there yawning?
I had a little cold.
I'm glad we were on a one-shot.
I think it's unbelievable that you think playing on the road in the SEC. By the way, you obviously have never been to a game at Jordan-Hare. I mean, honestly, it's okay. You haven't been, right? You never stepped foot in that stadium.
What is your point?
My point is that it's a loud, intimidating venue. It's like playing in Athens. It's like playing at Ole Miss. It's even more intimidating than playing at Ole Miss.
Who cares?
Jordan-Hare
These are football players,
the top
Ron.
5 venues in the SEC.
It doesn't matter. Their team is terrible. They're terrible.
They put up over 700 yards of offense.
That's not Etling's problem. That's Dave Aranda's problem. Dave Aranda has to deal with that. If Etling's watching, their defense is not very good.
Their defense is not very.
No, their defense is not very.
29 on them, but I mean, like, my point is that you think Etling looks at the tape and goes, "Oh my God, Alabama."
I think
I'm
that he's away. I think he's away from the noise. I think he's away from the environment here.
He's not away from the noise. He's going into the noise. There's no noise when he's in Tiger Stadium.
There's nothing worse than your own team and your own fans turning on you, bro.
But they haven't.
They're turning on the team.
They haven't.
And he's part of the team,
They
Ron.
love Etling. He hasn't screwed up yet. They love Etling. He's the answer.
Exactly.
He's
the answer for right now. He's the answer today, but tomorrow he's not the answer, because if he screws up, you don't want to hear that from your own fans. You don't want to hear your own fans booing you. You don't want to hear your own fans coming against you. You can deal with that a lot better. I think he might perform incredibly well this weekend in Auburn. I'm telling you right now, the guy he just seems like that type of personality. He just doesn't look like anything phases him. But I tell you what, as soon as his own fans start turning on him, that will affect him.
But they wouldn't turn on him.
Well, yes, they would if they don't like him.
Let me ask you
if they don't like the way he's performing.
He has 3 turnovers.
Let me tell you something.
He has 3 turnovers
has 2
in the
more
first
weeks.
half.
He
against Auburn this week in Tiger Stadium.
Ronnie,
they boo him.
See that right there?
Or he goes to Texas, or he goes to Auburn.
2.
He has 3 turnovers in the first half, and the other team cheers because they're up 21-0.
Can you see that?
What difference does it make?
I'm going to tell you right now. 2. You know what that means? If he has 2 more games where he performs well in the first half, in the second half are stinkers, you're going to start hearing it. You're going to start hearing it.
Not if they win.
Yes, they will.
If he has a great first half and a terrible one at Auburn and they win, it's not gonna. Nobody's gonna care.
No, then it's gonna be like, oh, this second half. What is this second half? It's starting to become a theme here. Jacksonville State. Then it's Mississippi State.
I was like, because they know what the other option is. They know Brandon Harris isn't an option.
No, then it's gonna be Lindsey Scott. Where's Lindsey Scott?
Lindsey Scott is not playing anytime soon. He's gonna redshirt.
We're talking about the fans, Ron. We're talking about the fans.
Lindsey Scott's
5'8".
You got to give him a step ladder.
I'm letting you know right now. 2 more weeks of him not performing in the second half, making great.
Regardless of win or lose.
Regardless.
Wow, spoken like a true fan.
Now throw a loss in there. Throw a loss in there, and then
different.
What happens?
Lose at Auburn and look like crap like Brandon Harris did 2 years ago. That's a different story. But I'm saying you win. Doesn't matter. Look, this LSU team, there's nothing about pretty points or how it looks. It's about winning. That
pass to Chark was pretty?
It's about winning. I don't care how LSU gets it done the rest of the year. They're not going to have beauty points. It's strictly, did you get one more point than the other team? Because that's all you got to be happy for.
Did you not?
Etling got run off at Purdue. We got Purdue's cast off. Okay, what do you expect out of this guy? I have no expectation of Etling to be better than Harris, other than I hope we can just win with him.
Has he been better than Harris?
He has, because he's been able to say, I'm not going to force a ball downfield. I'm willing to take 2 or 3 yards and get tackled and move the chains. And that's what this team needs. Harris is the guy that can go out there and light it up and maybe look awesome. He hasn't. Etling is a blue-collar quarterback who, at best, we can just move the chains down the field. And that's this team's okay with that. Because they've got a guy. Well, how is it that you disagree?
Because
you think Purdue just didn't? They had better. You think Purdue has better quarterback play?
Tom Brady didn't even start at Michigan, dude. I mean, stuff happens,
That's
Ronnie.
Michigan.
Oh, for the God's sake. Sometimes things don't work out for people. Sometimes things don't work out. You're going to sit here and tell me that dude doesn't have potential to develop over the next 2 years?
His arm is what it is.
His arm is the same as Matt Flynn's. His arm, and Matt Flynn's been 10 years.
His arm is better than.
You're out of your mind. I'm about to lose it. You're out of your mind. That dude can make everything.
Etling, he's 40. He's 40 yards. That's it.
You're wrong. That dude's got a better arm than 40 yards, and I can throw it 55.
Well, I'm not saying you can't take a crow hop and throw it 55. I'm talking about throwing it with conviction, putting it on the spot. Yeah, he threw it 50 yards and got intercepted in the first game. But I'm talking about really controlling the throw. And you and Etling can't do that anymore.
Oh my God.
Do we need to talk about last week's first pass of the game intercepted? My God. He's Joel Davis. He's not wearing a coat. He's wearing a Wooden Haven Furniture Company T-shirt, which that's not the Earth. That's Mars or something. Fire the artist. We'll be back with Sports Shorts from LeBaire Studios right after this.
Furniture Company is your furniture destination for timeless designs handcrafted by artisans from around the globe. Wooden Haven Furniture Company has furniture that can change or just accent your world at home. Wooden Haven Furniture Company.
Fed up with Washington? Then Gus Rantz is your guy.
It's time to drain the swamp and get rid of career, crooked politicians.
Born into government housing, Gus proved that with hard work, anything is possible. Today, Gus employs thousands.
I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman.
Gus Rantz, a rock-solid conservative.
Hillary Clinton would be an absolute disaster. I'll stand up to her and her liberal, crooked ways. I'm Gus Rantz, and I approve this message.
When it comes to you or a loved one facing a long-term stay in a hospital, there are other long-term acute care hospitals, and then there is AMG Specialty Hospital. AMG Specialty Hospital is a long-term acute care hospital known as a LTAC. We are designed to give care to patients who require an extended hospital stay. AMG Specialty Hospital focuses on putting our patients first, which is why 90% of our specialty hospital patients and their families would recommend us to others. Other LTACs will care for you. AMG Specialty Hospital will care about you. AMG is committed to delivering quality health care to our patients within the communities we serve. Go ahead, ask your doctor which LTAC hospital they would trust most for their own loved ones. If you're looking for a pretty hospital, they're out there. But if you're looking for the best long-term acute care hospital with great patient care, AMG is proudly serving 8 locations in Louisiana and 7 other locations within the United States. So when the best care is as close as this, there's absolutely no reason to go to any LTAC other than AMG's healthcare management for complex medical needs. Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Shorts from the LeBaire Studios in Baton Rouge. By the way, last Saturday at LeBaire, or actually Friday at LeBaire's, Better Than Ezra was in concert in the Event Center. They put on a great show. I've seen them probably, did not. Probably 20 times I've seen them in my life, and this was one of their better shows. I mean, it was a packed house. I'm not in the band. I mean, it's just an every once in a while thing.
I guess the last 4 times they've been here, you've managed to get yourself on.
Yeah.
Maybe you're kind of losing your game a little bit.
Maybe. You never know.
I mean, when they don't ask you.
Well, they did mention.
No.
They actually did. I would say, hey, we're going to get you up there. And then Kevin, afterwards, the lead singer for Better Than Ezra, apologized. He said, he forgot.
I don't believe that.
Going, yeah,
because Ronnie, I can hear it now. Hey, by the way, you'd have been walking up to the stage.
Before he got it out of his mouth. I was by the stage ready to go. Just didn't get the call.
You were heartbroken.
I was like the guy in the bullpen that's warmed up, hot, ready to go. Like just waiting for the tip of the cap, and just didn't get the trip to the mound. Didn't get the trip to the mound.
He never called you.
So it is what it is. But they are going to be playing at Walk-Ons in about a month. And Brandon Landry said, hey, we're going to get you up there.
He's going to make that happen.
Brandon said we're going to get me up there, so we'll see.
I hope that he doesn't forget you the second.
We'll let you know.
If friendship could be ruined.
If Better Than Ezra doesn't bring me up there the second time,
then you know that it's time to maybe hang up your robe.
Yeah, I might have to become a Cowboy Mouth fan. So let's talk a little bit about the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, let's do that.
The Saints, for the second week in a row, lose on a last-second field goal. What is your takeaway after the first 2 weeks? Are you optimistic because you go, hey, this team in parts played better than I expected over the first 2 weeks, or do you go, they missed opportunities to win, therefore they're not going to make that up on the back end, the season's over?
They got 3 turnovers
in the first half.
And couldn't capitalize on
3 points. They got 3 points.
Ronnie, that's scary. Because normally a typical Saints team, even the offense we saw last week, versus, by the way, that offense, the defense that they played last week, gave up 35 to Atlanta.
Right, on the road.
But
let me say this before you continue, because I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
The Saints got 4 turnovers and didn't allow. They got 4 turnovers and didn't allow. Was it 3 or 4?
3 turnovers.
They got 3. Saints got 3 turnovers and didn't allow an offensive touchdown and lost. Like that.
That's insane.
That literally, I would love for a researcher to go back.
They held the opponent under 20. Under 20 points.
But I mean,
no. There's a stat. I think Sean.
But they didn't allow an offensive touchdown, so of course they allowed him under 20. You know what I mean?
But my point is I think Sean Payton has lost maybe 3 games in his career when they've held anybody under 20 points.
Right. Okay. Right.
3.
Okay. But I'm saying in the history of the NFL. Like the history of not Saints, the history of the NFL, you're +3 in the turnover department. That you don't allow an offensive score. Like I would say, there's maybe 3 teams have ever lost a game like that. I'm saying like in the history of football.
Yeah.
How do you lose a game like that? You
they're
give
not-
up a block
they're
punt,
not-
block field goal for
right,
a touchdown.
and they're
I mean,
not playing complementary football. They're not. I mean, just go figures. Their defense finally has a good week, and the offense can't get it going.
That's a sign of a bad team.
It's a sign of a bad team.
You do one thing well, one thing bad.
It's
one thing
very
well, one thing
inconsistent.
bad.
You're having inconsistencies
Right.
every week. I mean, one week you have an offense, the next week you don't. One week you don't have a defense, the next week you do. So
Right.
that's kind of where this football team is. It's a sign of a young team. But the person I want to talk about, the person I feel, what is the deal with this team making massive, massive mistakes when it comes to free agency? Kobe Fleener is terrible. I have never
He
seen
looks uninterested.
Dude, I don't even know. He looks like a guy who's kind of good at football, and he's getting paid for it. So I'm gonna go ahead. I guess I'll play. I guess I'll play some football. And then after this, I'm gonna get into art. I'm gonna open up an art store.
Why? Because he's got hair like you. He's got a
Dude,
lot.
he's got he doesn't have a masculine ponytail, Ron. There's a difference between a masculine ponytail
and an artist ponytail.
and an artist ponytail.
Right,
He's got an artist ponytail.
Right, right.
You know,
I get it. No, I get it.
Clay Matthews
Clay
has a
Matthews
man ponytail.
Has a meet you out back.
I'll meet you
ponytail.
out back, and I'm
Right,
going to beat you with this ponytail.
Right, right.
Okay? Kobe Fleener paints with his ponytail.
Right.
He dips it in paint. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm just going to tell you right now, bro, the dude is disinterested. And you know what's funny? Is during the summer, all we could hear Drew Brees just, it was such, you now know it was bull crap.
Right.
Complete bull crap.
Well, he's trying to pump him up.
Trying to pump him up. Uncoverable. He's always open. Every time you'd hear a report.
It's 7-on-7. Of course, he's always open.
I don't believe he was ever
Nobody's
open.
hitting you.
I don't believe he was
he's
ever
6'7", whatever he is.
I saw Drew Brees and that quick little out.
When he made that face.
And he made that
after
face and he goes, so stupid. You could read his lips.
That's what he said?
So stupid. Like, because he's
He stopped the route.
He stopped the
Yeah,
route.
yeah.
It was clearly man coverage, not zone. He comes out of the break and stops.
And then doesn't catch this
and
one
then
anyway.
He wouldn't have had to. It would have been right here if you just keep running knowing you're in man. What do you stop? Why are you not running through the route? It's man coverage. Zone, you stop. You did the right. So Drew Brees, you're so stupid. Or so stupid.
And he didn't say it to him. He was saying it to himself.
Well, he's saying that was
Right.
stupid.
Right.
Like I had a receiver do that before.
Right.
Cost me a pick. Don't like that. Quarterbacks don't like it.
Who was the receiver?
We're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
We're not
Last
gonna
week? In your
I'm not going
flag
to talk
football
about that.
game?
I'm not going
Okay,
to talk about
all right,
that.
just
It's
saying.
it's neither here nor there, Ron.
He said he's not watch anyway. He said nobody watches.
My friends do.
Okay.
We're kind of friends.
All right.
I think we're good friends. That's why I really shouldn't say his name. Anyway, so my thing is that that's another $4 million a year. You just wasted money on C.J. Spiller. Now you've wasted money on Kobe Fleener. He's not going to get better, dude.
Right.
And that pass down up the seam, Jimmy Graham comes down with that.
Right.
Jimmy Graham goes up, gives up the body before he got paid. That's before he got paid.
Right.
Jimmy Graham before the money came. Goes up, catches that at the highest point, and comes down, falls on his back. You know, might be paralyzed after. Didn't care. Kobe Fleener's not going up in the air to try to.
And he had
when he
2 or
got
3
hit,
catches and like 9 targets, something like that.
right?
It was unbelievable.
They had clearly. That's part of the problem, in why they didn't score yesterday. They had made Kobe Fleener a major part of the game plan during the week, and forced it all game long, and it didn't pay off for it, and that's why they lost the game. They had made him a major factor in the game plan. That's why they went to him 8 times. That means you were in the game plan.
You don't think they lost the game because the Saints have horrific defensive backs who
No.
can't intercept this ball?
Well, I think that's
At the end of the game?
Yeah, but I
Like,
mean,
right, like
but the
it's-
play before Odell Beckham,
He dropped the
that should have been a touchdown.
Right, but I mean,
So-
he burnt another guy. Right, I mean.
Well, that was Cruz on the other side. But my thing is it should have been over the play before. Odell Beckham doesn't drop that pass, so I don't feel good about it. Even though Sterling Moore had a really good game.
For the most
considering
part. Considering
what you just got the guy off the street.
Right.
Considering you just got the guy off the
He
street.
was working at Smoothie King a week ago, and now he's
Happy
playing.
with his
Right, I get it,
performance.
I get it.
That pass he broke up in the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, could you have done that?
Right.
No, not that was not pedestrian. That was a great play.
But the other guy, 46.
I thought he was in position. I thought he played
No, he
well.
was. He was right there.
But he tried to short arm it and misplayed it. Knock it down, bro.
I mean, he got it taken away like a big brother takes away bread at a table, from the little brother. I mean, it was just.
This is your big brother.
It was
did to
right
you?
here, and I was the big brother. It was right here, and then it wasn't. And he did
I thought it
nothing
was
about
intercepted.
it. It was almost like, excuse me.
Like, would you like
I mean,
this?
can you
would
knock
you like
it down?
the last piece of bread,
it's third
sir?
down, first off. So, I mean, at worst, knock it down.
Yeah.
I mean, give me this.
Something.
Or give me this.
Yeah,
But,
you don't even intercept that.
Don't give me like the
You don't
soft hands.
You don't intercept
the soft
that.
hand, the mushy soft hand, nothing. That's what you
If
do.
you're going to intercept it, you go up and you take it like a man. You take it like a man.
How's
What?
a man take it? I don't know.
He takes it, Ron.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
you know who takes it?
Who?
You know who takes it?
Be careful.
The guy from Green Bay, the guy we were just talking about, Clay Matthews. He takes it. He takes it from you.
Right.
You put it out. He snatches it from you, and he doesn't give it back. And he says, "You want this? You come get it."
Right.
And you don't come get it because you don't want to mess with Clay Matthews. Crawley did not do that. He didn't take it like a man. Fleener takes it like a man. Over and over and over again when he's going through the secondary of defenses. Did you see that time he got hit? It looked like he was about to get snapped in half. The one time he got hit on that little corner route, you could see he caught it, was like, here it comes. And he gets hit in the hip, and the dude's ponytail came out of his helmet. You saw that?
Fleener, can we get, I know Watson's hurt, but why did we have to get rid of him?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then they just should have paid Watson.
I mean, come on. He's a great guy and the whole
I don't care if he
deal.
was 39 years old. He's a great guy, and he was effective. He was tough. He made the big catch.
You get one or two more years out of him, because you just rejuvenated his career with the 75 catches or whatever.
You know what I'm waiting for? Kobe Fleener to be replaced by Manhurts, the undrafted free agent basketball player. That's what I'm waiting for. I actually got some snaps in yesterday. Still haven't thrown the football to him, but I can assure you, Kobe Fleener will not be part of
I would
the
love
game
to
plan.
be a fly on the wall today in film with Fleener and Breeze and Peyton going over that film. Because if you watch Saints Tonight on CST, they do a great job on that show. You really should watch it. It's every Sunday night on CST at Saints Tonight. They kind of called out Fleener on the show.
They should have.
And basically said he looked like he was going 3/4 speed, and you can't do that in the NFL. And the other thing they said was, Drew Brees is going to give you some chances, and if he can't rely on you, he's going to go to other people. He's got other options, and and like this was his game. He gave him
forced
chances.
him into the game
They forced him. There were some balls that hit him in the hands. There were some routes that he looked like he was going 3/4 speed on.
He looked confused. Fleener looked like he's not playing as if the ball's coming to him.
There's not a sense of urgency at all.
Right, and I can't stand that in a football player. There's nothing worse than a player that doesn't have a sense of, like Drew Brees plays with a sense of urgency. You can see it in his face. We got to get going. We got to, he's kind of fidgety and just fixing his helmet and got to go.
How good is Snead, by the way?
He's unbelievable.
I mean, it's incredible.
Cooks too. Cooks is great. Snead is unbelievable.
But I like
and
Snead better.
He's got an ankle injury. You could see that he got a little injury on his ankle, but it was still big time. I wouldn't say I like him better than Cooks. I think Cooks is an explosive player. I think
Snead is tougher and he's bigger. So
how could you say he's tougher?
To me, he goes across. To me, he goes across the middle with a.
Did you not see that touchdown catch that Cooks caught last week?
Yeah, I mean, I saw all of them.
Pretty tough.
He's just a smaller guy. He's a lot of, and then step out of bounds. I just think Snead. It's my choice. I'm the GM. I take Snead over Cooks.
See, that's why you didn't make it with the Roughnecks. Right. That's why you didn't make it with the Roughnecks, bro. That's why you got cut.
We'll see.
No, I'm telling you, Cooks will be in the league
longer than Snead.
Well, he'll be with the Saints longer than Snead.
Well, because he's a first-round pick. So
I don't think that's it at all. I think that both of them are valuable at what they do. Cooks stretches a defense. Snead.
I'd love to ask.
I'd like to
Drew. The chips are on the line. It's 3rd and 5 playoffs. You got to, the season's going to be over with. Who you trust to throw?
But Snead benefits from what Cooks can do to a defense. He takes the top of a defense, which opens up a lot for him. They work in tandem. They're good together. They're great together. Michael Thomas, the third receiver, the rookie, the second-round draft pick. Here's my concern. I think he's got great hands. I think he's a good football player, but I'm worried. He's never going to be a number one. He's never going to be a number one, Ron, because he can't. I think he can get separation, but not against elite corners. He'll never get that separation from elite a corner. I just don't think he will. He's going to be that second and third guy always.
When we take a break, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about a couple things. We'll find out if Snead or Cooks, do we think either one's going to be in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame? We're going to talk about the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Got a big announcement. We're going to tell you about that. And we'll continue on with some more Saints LSU talk and a look at a unique matchup this week. The Raging Cajuns traveling to Tulane to take on the Green Wave at their own ballpark. And, oh, by the way, it's not going to be the last time that UL heads to New Orleans. We'll tell you about some big news about the Raging Cajuns' future schedule. Don't go anywhere. Sports Church will continue from the LeBaire Studios right after this.
Attention, Ascension, the stick has come to the Ville. Red Stick Sports has opened in Prairieville in the former Tiger Bait Sports location on Airline Highway across the street from Frank's next door to Abear Guns. And with that comes team uniforms and equipment you've been wanting. All the names are here too. Nike, Russell, Under Armour, Wilson, Mizuno, Adidas, Easton, Rawlings, Marucci, and Louisville Slugger. All you need to succeed awaits you at the new Red Stick Sports in Prairieville.
Fed up with Washington? Then Gus Rantz is your guy.
It's time to drain the swamp and get rid of career, crooked politicians.
Born into government housing, Gus proved that with hard work, anything is possible. Today, Gus employs thousands.
I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman.
Gus Rantz, a rock-solid conservative.
Hillary Clinton would be an absolute disaster. I'll stand up to her and her liberal, crooked ways. I'm Gus Rantz, and I approve this message.
When it comes to you or a loved one facing a long-term stay in a hospital, there are other long-term acute care hospitals, and then there is AMG Specialty Hospital. AMG Specialty Hospital is a long-term acute care hospital known as a LTAC. We are designed to give care to patients who require an extended hospital stay. AMG Specialty Hospital focuses on putting our patients first, which is why 90% of our specialty hospital patients and their families would recommend us to others. Other LTACs will care for you. AMG Specialty Hospital will care about you. AMG is committed to delivering quality health care to our patients within the communities we serve. Go ahead, ask your doctor which LTAC hospital they would trust most for their own loved ones. If you're looking for a pretty hospital, they're out there. But if you're looking for the best long-term acute care hospital with great patient care, AMG is proudly serving 8 locations in Louisiana and 7 other locations within the United States. So when the best care is as close as this, there's absolutely no reason to go to any LTAC other than AMG's healthcare management for complex medical needs. Welcome back, everybody, to the LeBaire Studios in Baton Rouge. All kind of fun events coming up at LeBaire's. If you've got one of these smartphones, which I know everybody does, whether it's an iPhone or some other smartphone, download the LeBaire's Baton Rouge app for free on your phone, and it's got everything you need. You can book hotel rooms. You can see what all the concerts are coming up. You go to the Edge Lounge inside LeBaire's. You want to know who's playing, what kind of band's playing. It's got all of that listed. There's karaoke on Sunday nights. There's ladies' night with a DJ on Thursdays. There's acoustic open mic night on Wednesdays. There's all of that's going on at LeBaire's. Restaurant reservations, you name it. Download the LeBaire's Baton Rouge app for free on your phone, and you'll be in the loop and in the mix and know everything that's going on. Great concerts coming up this month and next at LeBaire's. Get your tickets now. Last week, some news here in the state of Louisiana. Of course, it's pertinent to the show, being that we're a sports show. I took a job as the CEO, president of Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation up in Natchitoches. And for more information, go to lasportshall.com. But I urge you, and look, I went to the Hall of Fame for the first time a year ago, and I don't know that you've been, Joel. It's up in Natchitoches. By the way, folks, there's a $23 million museum in downtown Natchitoches, right on the Cane River on Front Street. And 3-4 years ago when it was opened, it was voted the #1 new architectural building in the world by one of the top architecture magazines in the country. So it's a fantastic museum. Inside of it is the Hall of Fame. The 80% of that museum is the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And each and every year, the last weekend in June, there's a huge ceremony, induction weekend. 10 different inductees get into the Hall of Fame. And there's some big announcements coming up in the next week or so. I don't want to leak anything, but there's some huge names going into the Hall of Fame in the summer of 2017. And I'm going to be a part of that, kind of fundraising, putting on those events. Looking forward to it.
So when are we going to induct maybe some skateboarders?
Well, here's the unique thing about my job.
Shouldn't there be a wing for us guys?
Well, here's the thing.
We're athletes too, Ron.
Here's the thing, Joel, about the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, which is the great thing about my job. I actually don't pick who goes into the Hall of Fame.
So all those texts you get mean nothing.
So the Louisiana Sports Writers Association, they go in a room and it's like picking a pope. There's 40 of them on this executive board. They go in there, they lobby for people, they take votes, they send out the white smoke, and then they come out and you go, here's your list, here's your list. And they've already done that. They're going to release the names in about another week or so. There's some. I know the list. There's some big names on there that everyone will know.
Blaine Besh, five-star Blaine Besh.
Juvenile Medical is not on the list.
Okay.
But I will lobby on his behalf.
The second question: why Natchitoches?
Well, it's a good question.
That's what everybody's asking.
Yeah,
why are we putting a $23 million
it's very easy
building
because,
with great architecture in the middle of Natchitoches?
Back in the late 50s when folks...
Legitimate question.
Back in the late 50s when there were a little small group of sports writers from Louisiana that were wanted to start some sort of Hall of Fame.
They like drinking in Natchitoches?
They called all the colleges and everybody said no. They called LSU, they called UL Lafayette, they called Southeastern, they called the schools and said, hey, look, do you have any space on your campus that you can make available? We want to start and at that time, they weren't asking for a large space. They weren't asking for its own building. They were asking for probably just a little small wing somewhere. Can you got any space on campus that you can donate and make available to the Louisiana Sports Writers Association? Because we want to start a Sports Hall of Fame. And everybody passed. And eventually, the athletic director at Northwestern State said, we do.
I have a hard time believing they called every university and asked them that. I don't think that. You know why?
You think Northwestern State was like the one on the short list of the first calls?
I don't. I think that there were some schools left out on that call, and then maybe the first yes they got, they jumped on it.
Okay, well,
that's just my opinion.
I'm glad that your insight, since you've never ever been to the Hall of Fame, you don't know anybody.
Well, I'm just thinking if I'm opening a business,
that you figured that out.
I'm thinking if I'm opening a business,
they came up with that.
I'm thinking if I'm opening a business and I need to bring people there.
But it's not a business. You got to understand, when the Hall of Fame was started, it's a nonprofit, first off, and when the Hall of Fame was started, they were just looking for a little area to put up some signs and some pictures of athletes. They
don't want people to come?
Well, they do now. They didn't in 58.
But you got to think future. You can't just think today, Ron. At the Woodhaven.
How much time do we have left
at the Woodhaven Furniture Company?
I'm so
Ronnie,
over this guy.
At the Woodhaven Furniture Company.
He's got like some kind of Pink Floyd T-shirt that he's wearing. I mean, the hair.
What's wrong with the hair? I've got a little.
Mess.
It's a mess. I've been delivering furniture all day. Yeah. I think it looks good for them.
So anyway, that's.
By the way, congratulations.
Thank you. I think I appreciate.
Well, I had to take a beating on my globe earlier.
All right. So anyway, looking forward to working with the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
I tell you
Foundation.
what, you say you're sorry about making fun of my globe, and I will apologize about making fun of your Hall of Fame.
I can't honestly do that, so I'll just stay
all
with
right, well, your Hall of Fame is in a stupid place.
But it's a beautiful place in Natchitoches, and you need to go check it out. It's on Front Street in Natchitoches.
How far is that from Baton Rouge?
5 minutes off I-49 and between Alexandria and Shreveport.
Alexandria's 2.5 hours.
It's 3 hours from Baton Rouge to Natchitoches. Beautiful beds and breakfasts, some of the greatest restaurants in the state, and it's right next to Northwestern State University. Beautiful campus. You should go check it out. It's a nice getaway. And with the Christmas lights coming up. I don't know if you've ever been up there for the Christmas lights
festival.
I'll let you
take me.
It's amazing.
I'll let you take me.
It's absolutely amazing.
Will you take me?
Will not. You get your wife to take you. So anyway, that's what's going on. We'll have a lot of Louisiana Sports Writers Hall of Fame guests on our show in the future. I'm working on that.
What they paying you?
It's just a little something, something. Well,
You know what I'm talking
about? What do they pay you at Woodhaven? I mean,
I do it all for free.
Right. Okay. You and me both. We're such philanthropists. We talked some LSU earlier. The Raging Cajuns. I mentioned a tease before break. The Raging Cajuns are taking on Tulane at their ballpark, at their stadium in New Orleans, right on campus. By the way, Tulane hosted Southern a couple of weeks ago. The Raging Cajuns pulled out a victory at home against South Alabama this past week. They're 2-1 on the season, 1-0 in Sun Belt Conference play. I'm excited about the Raging Cajuns taking on Tulane in New Orleans. There'll be a packed house for that one. Their stadium only seats about 30,000, but it'll be a big crowd.
That's not that UL Raging Cage is not a game that I typically would go see. Sit in the stands.
Jennings.
But with Anthony Jennings in Tulane Stadium, I've been wanting to go to that stadium a lot because of where it's located, being on campus. It's a beautiful part of New Orleans, an old, beautiful part of New Orleans. So that might be the game that the Hog might make his first visit ever to Tulane Stadium. I mean, that to me it sounds like a great matchup. I think it's going to be tough for Tulane to win that football game. I think the Cajuns are just a little bit more talented, in my opinion. But at home in New Orleans, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That might be the one that you're going to see me down in New Orleans. And a lot of people that are just football fans, not necessarily Tulane fans, not necessarily Cajun fans, just fans of football. And it's an opportunity to go down and see a really unique stadium. Every picture I've seen of that stadium, it's just calling my name. It's small. It's not big. It'll be like you're in a game. I mean, you know all about arena football. Arena football, you were a general manager, not very successful, but you were a general manager.
We won the award for best dance team in the league. No, seriously. We went 4-12 that season, had to fire our coach, but we wound up had the best dance team in the league in 2001.
Do you know the man? Who was the cheerleader coach, dance team coach? Do you remember?
She was a wonderful lady.
Did you hire her?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. I took the dance team very. Unfortunately, I probably had more of a thumb on the dance team
than the football team.
The football team. I kind of left that in the hands of some people I shouldn't have left that in the hands of.
I understand. But back to the Tulane thing. Yeah, I think that every indication is that stadium will be fun to be in and watch a game. It's almost like you're on the field. It's just tight. It's close, and I look forward to it. And I'm going to be there for that football game.
The word I'm hearing is that Anthony Jennings is playing good football.
He's playing very good football.
For the Raging Cajuns, he's moving the ball. He's been a great leader. He's already taken over that team, and
he's their Danny Etling.
Yeah,
he's their Danny Etling, and Jennings left for a reason. Just like Danny Etling left for a reason. And sometimes you can resurrect your career in another facility. So,
speaking of the Raging Cajuns, so last week some big news came out that the Mississippi State Bulldogs and the Raging Cajuns have reached a home-and-home series agreement. So September 3rd, 2018, the Raging Cajuns will open up their season in Stark Vegas. By the way, Starkville, I know people, we always make fun of Starkville, and deservedly so. It's an awful place, but the stadium is absolutely gorgeous. And they've put a lot of money into it recently, closed in one of the ends. They've got club seats, all that.
They needed to do that.
But on the other end, which is open, and they haven't closed that in yet, who knows if they will, they actually put some cabanas, like casino cabanas, which you can rent, and they have a waitress, and there's, they have a TV, and they have liquor, and all that. They put some cabanas on one end over by the facility where the locker room and the coaches' offices are on one end, and those sold out in the day that they came on the market. So Starkville has really upgraded their football facility, but because Mark Hudspeth had ties, he's from Mississippi, he coached on the Mississippi State staff prior to coming to Lafayette. They reached an agreement. So in 18, the Raging Cajuns will open up in Starkville, but in 19. They will open up the season in New Orleans in the Superdome. And we know how the Raging Cajuns travel because of the 4 straight years of the New Orleans Bowl.
In there.
Easily, between Mississippi State being able to travel, everybody can just drive in for the game, and it's a destination city. There'll be, maybe even, I think more than that probably. I think you're looking at around 60,000 at least in the Dome to open the 2019 season. So that's something to look forward to, mark on the calendar. And that's Labor Day weekend in 2019. So Raging Cajuns will be taking over the Big Easy that year. The Raging Cajuns, by the way, didn't make it to the New Orleans Bowl last year, so they got a little work to do. There's no doubt the New Orleans Bowl will want to get them in if they can have a winning record this coming year. And Mark Hudspeth, he showed, unlike Les Miles, he didn't waste any time. Week 1 against Boise State, fires the defensive coordinator, and defense has played better since.
Yeah. Look, that's what coaches are supposed to do. That's what head coaches are supposed to do. They're supposed to make changes to their coaching staff.
Not be afraid to make changes.
You don't hire your friends. As soon as you hire your friends, you might as well go ahead and fire yourself.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes an emotional decision. You don't want to hurt your friends, family. You don't want to put them in a tough situation. So you go down with the ship, and they bring you down as well. So that's part of the problem with Les Miles is he goes out and him and Cam Cameron apparently have a very close relationship. And, but I'm kind of backtracking on the Cameron thing. I don't think that he is innovative. I don't think that you're seeing anything innovative with Cam Cameron. I would like to see Les Miles find someone that is youthful, that can bring a different concept to your football team, that can take this talent to a different level. Someone that's progressive, someone that can do some different things, that can maybe shock some defenses a little bit. Cam Cameron's a good offense. I think he's a good offensive guy. I just don't think he's special. You need somebody special at LSU.
Well,
you have a special opportunity here.
And
I think Les Miles needs to make that change, Ronnie. I mean, regardless of what happens this year.
It's interesting. I talked to, on CST tonight, I do the show in the locker room after the game, and one of the guys that I interview each and every game is Jacob Hester, who, of course, won a national championship at LSU in 2007 and played for Les Miles. And so he's a Les Miles guy. And I asked him, I said, you know more than I do here, this offense, I mean, is it Cam's offense? Is it Les's offense? Are they lockstep? I mean, is it Cam wanting to do something and Les is shutting him down? And he said, as good of friends as they are, but with Cam's experience and the fact that you're paying him over $1.5 million, but with his NFL experience and his expertise in offense, he said this was his opinion, that he had a hard time believing that if he wanted to do something that he couldn't get Les Miles to let him do it, right?
Yeah, but the problem is as you saw in the second half. The second half of these two football games, it's a mentality. It's the clock is our friend.
It's the play not to lose as opposed to play to win mentality.
And you have to evolve as a football.
In there.
You have to evolve as a football coach. This is not 1999, man.
Coach,
this is not 2010.
If you want the formula to beat Alabama, it ain't the way LSU's playing.
No,
Ole Miss has won 2 of the last 3 and could have easily won this year.
It should have won.
And nobody else has beaten Alabama playing the way we do.
But Les Miles doesn't want to have those turnovers.
That 9-6 game in 2011 where their field goal kicker missed 5 field goals and you got outgained by 100 yards and still miraculously won is not going to happen again.
The score will for LSU, but it won't for Alabama because their offense has progressed. They're going to put points on any defense. I don't care who you're not holding Alabama to 14 points.
And if
they're too talented.
And if everything that LSU does is not to beat Alabama, then they're fooling themselves because that's the bar. That's what it should be. Because if we can beat them, we can beat anybody.
They're not going to beat us.
And it should be all about everything we do. It's like in baseball. It's all, on the Skip Berman, always the talk was, what are we going to do to win in Omaha? Not get to Omaha. What do we have to do to win in Omaha? And everything we did was about winning in Omaha. Well, everything should be about beating Alabama. What do we need to do to beat Alabama? You've got more NFL players than Alabama. You've got more NFL players than Alabama in the last 5 years in the league. But yet, you're not anywhere near Alabama.
It's because you don't have a head football coach that believes in change. He believes in what he knows. And I'm going to ask you this. We talked a few weeks ago about Chad Kelly. Your thoughts after 3 weeks. Do you still feel, or have you come over to my side?
I think he's outstanding. I'm not convinced he's the number 1 quarterback taken in the draft, but I think he's outstanding. He still makes a lot of mistakes. Hey, we got to take a break. We'll come back. Final timeout. We'll come back, wrap things up from the LeBears right after this. When it comes to you or a loved one facing a long-term stay in a hospital, there are other long-term acute care hospitals, and then there is AMG Specialty Hospital. AMG Specialty Hospital is a long-term acute care hospital known as a LTAC. We are designed to give care to patients who require an extended hospital stay. AMG Specialty Hospital focuses on putting our patients first, which is why 90% of our specialty hospital patients and their families would recommend us to others. Other LTACs will care for you. AMG Specialty Hospital will care about you. AMG is committed to delivering quality health care to our patients within the communities we serve. Go ahead, ask your doctor which LTAC hospital they would trust most for their own loved ones. If you're looking for a pretty hospital, they're out there. But if you're looking for the best long-term acute care hospital with great patient care, AMG is proudly serving 8 locations in Louisiana and 7 other locations within the United States. So when the best care is as close as this, there's absolutely no reason to go to any LTAC other than AMG's healthcare management for complex medical needs.
Attention, Ascension, the Stick has come to the Ville. Red Stick Sports has opened in Prairieville in the former Tiger Bait Sports location on Airline Highway across the street from Frank's next door to A-Bear Guns. And with that comes team uniforms and equipment you've been wanting. All the names are here too. Nike, Russell, Under Armour, Wilson, Mizuno, Adidas, Easton, Rawlings, Marucci, and Louisville Slugger. All you need to succeed awaits you at the new Red Stick Sports in Prairieville.
Fed up with Washington? Then Gus Rantz is your guy.
It's time to drain the swamp and get rid of career, crooked politicians.
Born into government housing, Gus proved that with hard work, anything is possible. Today, Gus employs thousands.
I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman.
Gus Rantz, a rock-solid conservative.
Hillary Clinton would be an absolute disaster. I'll stand up to her and her liberal, crooked ways. I'm Gus Rantz, and I approve this message.
Final segment of Sports Church. I want to tell you about Rejuvenate Medical, one of our great sponsors, the age-defying clinic here in Baton Rouge, 4212 Blue Bonnet Boulevard. For more info, go to rejuvenatemedical.com. Blaine Besh, Dr. Weiler do a great job. They've been working with Joel and I for the past number of months. And that's why Joel, he's 50, he looks 30, and I'm feeling younger again, thank goodness, after all the floods. But Rejuvenate Medical, the age-defying clinic in Baton Rouge, a great sponsor of Sports Shorts TV and Sports Shorts Radio, right on Blue Bonnet south of Jefferson on the left-hand side. By the way, congratulations to Nicholls State, the Colonels. They got a win last week, and they're 1-0 in Southland Conference. The Colonels will talk plenty more about in the coming days ahead. But, boy, after that win against Georgia, big crowd at home in Thibodeau, and the Colonels and Timmy Rebo, a hot news story in Baton Rouge. He's Joel Davis rocking that Wooden Haven Furniture Company t-shirt. I'm Ronnie Rantz. Have a great week, everybody.
Haven Furniture Company is your furniture destination for timeless designs handcrafted by artisans from around the globe. Wooden Haven Furniture Company has furniture that can change or just accent your world at home. Wooden Haven Furniture Company.